Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wide Open Adventures. I hope everybody's having a good day today. Hopefully, you got to get out and do some. Hey, PKR, good to see you. Tina, good to see you. Irish, good to see you. I hope everybody was at least able to get out and do some fishing or some hunting or at least go to the woods and got to walk around. It's been really good weather here in Oklahoma. That's weird. There we go. That was weird. I had feedback and I don't even have the volume up on that. But it's been really nice here in Oklahoma. I've took advantage of it. We've had 60-degree weather. That was really nice. Partly cloudy skies. Made for some beautiful catfishing. I got out, done some catfishing yesterday, a little bit of last night. It was pretty awesome. We got quite a bit of, well, I guess I got quite a bit of catfish. I was alone last night fishing. It was nice and quiet. And except for the game warden that stopped by, Officer Tilly, thank you. Appreciated the visit. But other than that, guys, that's all I've been doing. The echo is the echo took care of now. Should be took care of. Guys, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Mr. Travis Carpenter on the show. I know everybody's been waiting to see him, and we are going to kick it off.
Hey everybody, hope everybody is doing well. Can everybody hear me okay? I feel like it was my fault for the echo.
No, it was me, man. I've got so much stuff going on right before the live. YouTube decided to kill my stream, and I had to make a new stream. And yeah,
Dude, I heard that. I want to know how do I fix this where I'm like collapsed, and how do I, like, if I change it, does it no, that doesn't work at all.
Well, the way I do it on my phone is I have to enable where I can flip it. The camera.
I felt like I did that, but it's been you know how things act up. Anyway.
Oh, all the time.
So anyway, happy to be here. Excited to be with all of the family. Hello, everyone. I see everybody in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Didn't get a chance to go out fishing lately. I've been going to went to the beach. Then I lied. I actually went fishing at the beach.
Oh wow.
Dude, love fishing. Do you ever get a chance to go to the beach at all, or does anybody do that?
I have never got to ocean fish. That's on my bucket list, though.
It's a lot of fun. So what we do is we go to this little place called Sunset Beach, and this beach, man, like it's got a pier, and everybody, you can buy these pier fishing rigs and catch these fish called spots and whitings and croakers, and they're basically like bluegill of the sea. I mean, you can catch 20. We caught 43 and just filleted them up. You know, got the Louisiana fish fry and went to town. So I mean, everybody loves it because it's easy.
I'd like to do that. I've heard people. What is that other one they catch? The redfish. Pretty popular.
The redfish is really popular, but that's a little bit harder to catch from a pier. Unless you got to be out in the channels to kind of do that.
Boy, last night was a good night to fish here in Northeast Oklahoma. I went out and got my limit on blue cats. Ended up with 7, and it gave me just about 3 gallons of filleted meat off of 7 fish. So,
oh man, that's incredible. Now, what do you just do? Just rods, or do you do a specific way like jugs or anything like that?
I do it all. Last night I did rods. We got a lot of rain right here, so we're flooding. And believe it
Wow.
or not, I was fishing on the road. The water had flooded over the road, and the river floods out of the river into a pond that's right there by the river, and then that pond overflows into the road to another pond. Well, there's a lot of water movement right there, so I went down there, hit that road, and caught 8, 10, and the biggest one was 11 pounds on the blue cat. So pretty good
Ooh,
night.
that's a good night. That's a good night. What do you like to
Yeah,
use?
I have. Everybody always says go with a worm whenever nothing's biting. Everything will bite a worm, but I like chicken. I go with
Okay.
chicken, and I add
Mm-hmm.
some garlic powder to it.
Yeah, I've heard the
And
garlic. Yeah.
last night they were loving it. They were almost pulling my rods in the water. Matter of fact, the warden stopped, and I visited with him for, I don't know, an hour probably. And he ended up catching one of my poles for me that got jerked in the water. So we got
Oh man,
we got him to fishing too.
that's fun. That's fun. All right. So what's on the agenda tonight? What we've got the if you're lost.
Yeah,
Correct? Is that what we got going on tonight?
yeah. What gave me that idea to talk about it is I was fishing and I ran onto a an older gentleman. He was probably, I'd say, probably close to 70, and we got to visiting, and he was telling me a story about he went fishing at the beginning of spring, and he had decided that what he was going to do, instead of walking along the creek, he thought it would be faster to walk through the woods to be able to go to the lake to be able to fish the shoreline. So he took off through the lake, or for the lake, and he said as he was walking, he was carrying his poles, a little bit of bait, and he had a can of Coke. And he said, whenever I got to walking, he said, I seen some pecans. So I started picking pecans. He said, so whenever I started picking pecans, I got up, went to go onto the lake to fish and eat the pecans. And I walked and I walked and I walked, and there was no lake.
Oh.
He said, I was lost. He had got turned around in those woods, and he panicked. He said, I was honestly panicking. He said, because I didn't know where I was at. He said, I'm on medication that I have to have, blood thinners, etc. And he said, I couldn't have stayed out there all night without my medicine. He said, plus, nothing to eat. He was a diabetic. So, me and him got to talking about everybody should probably have a day bag, and what should you carry in it, whenever you go out like that.
Absolutely. So in this guy's scenario, he might have went wrong, where he went wrong is not necessarily walking away, because everybody can get turned around. Heck, what is it? Davy Crockett is famous for saying, "I've never been lost, but I've been turned around a time or two," and
Right.
and that happens. So, like walking away, do your best to know where you're going and know where you backtrack. But if you can't do that, you never walk off in the woods without a day bag, or like you said, just a backpack of a few items. And for him, you've got to be careful. Um, you've got to have certain things. But I follow, the Dave Canterbury's like 5C rule: cordage, cutting tool, container, cover, and and something else, and I cannot think of the other one. Let me look it up real quick. Um, I know that's it's terrible. It's like, oh yeah, I follow these 5 rules, and I got to look them up. Give
I do
me
it all the
30
time,
seconds.
dude.
But
My mind anymore, I can't remember something. I'll know what I'm talking about, but I won't have the words.
right. So the 5 C's, they call it the 5 C's of survivability, and it's cutting tool. Okay, so a knife, things of that nature. A pocket knife, it is just fine. combustion device. So the best thing is a lighter. You know, one of those little Bic lighters, man. You can't beat it. You cannot beat it. Cover, that's going to be proper clothing, or like in a scenario like just a emergency shelter of some type, a tarp, something like that. Container, that's going to be something to carry some water in, something to boil water in, big thing of that, and then cordage, something like 550 cord, things of that nature. But for him, it would be, you know, you've got to have a little bit of medicine, you got to have a little snack or two, and then you just sit down. A lot of people will kind of, what we'll do is our bodies will kind of freak out a little bit. Each tree kind of looks the same. And what happens is we start going back and forth and back and forth. And by the time we know it, we've walked 5 miles, and really we've only walked like half a mile, but we've gone back and forth, and we've not really gone anywhere.
Right.
So the biggest thing is when that happens and you feel yourself starting to flip out and it's getting dark and whatnot, the best thing to do is sit down. It is honestly just sit down and chill and make yourself a little shelter, make yourself a place to stay the night. And in those scenarios, I want people to think of it as almost inconvenient camping. Is what we like to call it. Is at that point you've got your day bag, it's got everything in it. Basically, you got, like you said, an inconvenient camping trip, and you'll be okay. You just have to have that stuff prepared. You don't have to be Mr. Survival Man. You just have to have a few items.
Right. I've done that. I'm guilty. I went hunting, and I was rabbit hunting. It was in the winter. Started to snow, and I was like, "Oh, perfect time to go rabbit hunting." So I go down there and I go off into the woods, and I'm chasing these rabbit. And the next thing I know, I'm like, man, those stories are true. Everything looks the same. And I was like, where am I at? You know, and the snow had covered my trail where I walked. And I was like, I'm going to have to figure out how to get out of here. Luckily, what I done is it was getting evening time, and I saw the tower flashing. And when I saw that cell tower, I knew where it was located. I knew the landmark, and then I was able to navigate back to the roadway because I knew where that tower was at. So, you know, a lot of times when I go in now, I'll try to pick a landmark, or if the moon's out, you know, I'll use the moon, or, you know, try to at least familiarize myself. Where am I at and which way am I moving?
Exactly. With that 5 C's, like I had broken down before, there's actually a bigger thing called the 10 C's, and one of those is a compass, or a way, like a device that you go that can tell you the way you're going. Travis's things that he would carry with him, I'm gonna carry my cell phone, man. Like everybody,
Right.
like sometimes you might have service, sometimes you might not, but that cell phone's a really great way of knowing. Another thing is, like, let people know where you are or where you're going to be if you're going to be out in the woods fishing, hunting, hiking. That was one of the big things that Dad always did. He would shoot me a text and be like, "Hey, I'm going out Bigfoot, and I'm going to go look. I'm going to go be here. I'll text you when I'm there. Text you when I'm out." Or, stuff like that. Like, just text somebody and let them know. That way, if you don't show up in the evening, hey, they know where to go for you. And most of the time, you're going, like, if you don't show up by like 9, 10 o'clock, like, you're supposed to be there by the end, they're going to come looking for you. So you just stay there. Is really the big thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they'll do what you said. They'll keep walking, and as they walk, it just makes it harder and harder for rescuers to find you, because the rescuers are going to start closest to where you were last known. Your vehicle, your point of entry, And if you're not there and you take off walking 10 miles from there, then that opens that area a lot larger. And it's like, well, where's the, or what if you get hurt, right? What if you
That's
roll an
exactly
ankle?
right.
What if you get
That's
snake bit?
man, that happens. You know, the snake bit and rolling ankle. That happens so much. Even you can be the biggest, baddest dude in the world, and you roll an ankle, you ain't moving. Like it'll bring down anybody. So you know, you've got to be prepared to at some point. It's like, hey, I'm not going to be able to walk out of here, or I'll be able to limp out in the morning. And you've got to be able to affect your survivability with temperature. That's where your cover comes in. You know, a rain jacket, a jacket, whatnot. And even people also don't realize and think about that when even in the summertime, like it gets 60 degrees at night. And
Right.
like if you guys don't think that 60 degrees is cold, put your house on 60 degrees and then now be a little wet and not be under the covers. It will
Yeah.
get cold. So you've got to have a way to affect your internal temperature, because you can get hypothermia in the summer. I've seen people do it. Seen people do it.
That
Go ahead.
reminded me the other night, you know, boots on the ground. When I went out, it was hot. I was burning up. You know, it was muggy. It was hot. Everything was wet. And then that cold front hit, and I got cold. It was like, oh man, you know, you start getting the goosebumps, and
Yes, you do, and you know if you're not ready for it, or if you don't have the proper clothing, man, that body, like you said, it gets cold.
I had
Uh,
goosebumps.
yeah, shoot, I'd say so. You know, hydration too, man. You've got. I think the problem is half of us walk around dehydrated anyway. Me being one. Um, and then we want to go walk out in the woods, and now we're already dehydrated, and then a scenario a scenario takes over where you know we have something bad happen, and now we're really in a pickle because you know dehydration is really setting in and whatnot. So my thing is carry water with you, and then have a way to get water. Like just
Right.
have a way to get water, and have like a water filter. Those little I'm a huge fan of those little $20 life straws. Dude, just
Yeah.
carry one of those and carry some a bottle of water. Um, will it get you by the apocalypse for years and years and years? No, but it will sure save your butt on a in a bad day on a 3-day survival if you have to. So big fan of that.
Yeah. My doctor, you said everybody walks around dehydrated. About a month ago, I was hospitalized for kidney stones. Oh, that was terrible, dude. I've never
Oh, I
hurt so
bet.
bad in my life. And I went in there. They gave me morphine. That was the first thing they gave me. Then they put me on a Tylenol drip and finally got it passed. And they said, you know what causes those to break loose and move? It's dehydration. And I got to talking to the doctor, and one of these here is what he gave me.
Uh
And
huh.
it's labeled from morning till night. And what they recommended that I drink, if you're active, he said if you're not active, it's not the best thing for you. Water would be, but being active,
Mm-hmm.
he told me to have Powerade, sugar free. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, he said it had more electrolytes than Gatorade, and he said go with the sugar free, and he said it'll bring up your, you won't be dehydrated. So I had my blood work done after I went to the hospital and done a checkup, and I done what he told me, and I had rehydrated and everything. They said I was right where I should have been, and I'm always dehydrated, always.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I know I am. But I know I need to be back on Powerades and Gatorades and stuff like that, but that just doesn't surprise me. Not saying that you're not. I just know everybody does. And I think
Yeah.
too, what do you think about, I'm a big caffeine drinker. What do you think about people that'll, drink a Monster or something like that and then go out there and then be really, really revved up?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up too, because there's a guy that I watch. I've really moved into the outdoor stuff. I've always been into outdoors, and to be honest, this is the channel that I really relax on, and I watch a lot of outdoor channels. There's a guy that I watch. Trying to think of the name of his channel. He's Deer Meat for Dinner. You ever watched him?
No, never heard of him. I got to look him up right now. Deer Meat for
Okay,
Dinner.
yeah, Deer Meat for Dinner. Him and his wife, they have an outdoor channel. I love it. They do a lot of hunting, pig hunting, stuff like that. But he was doing an alligator catch, and he was snagging alligators with his buddy, and I think he had a guy there filming, and he got to where he couldn't talk, and he turned around and said, "We got to go." And they loaded him in the truck, and they rushed him to the hospital. He had a stroke. He's in his 40s, and come to find out, they found out what caused the stroke was he drunk a Red Bull, is what they blamed it on.
Interesting.
The doctor said those Monsters, Red Bulls, and all those, when you hit yourself with that much caffeine and you're dehydrated, it almost blows your veins up. And if you got a weak part, he said you can have a stroke. So the bad thing is he's had I know he's had another stroke after that, but he keeps on going though. I mean, he keeps on pushing. But yeah, they said that's one of the number one things in young children and teens having enlarged hearts is the power drinks. Now they say that it's enlarging their hearts.
Interesting. I did not realize that. And I'm as guilty as the next person. Man, I love those white Monsters. They are addicting. I don't know what they put in it, but addiction central. I love them, but obviously they are not healthy for you. And I mean, I know that. I know that we walk around, and I don't think drinking 5 cups of coffee is really great for you too. And I think we all do it. We all do it to an extent. I know my grandmother and we used to think was that the old folks they'd have a whole pot of coffee in a day, and you talk about major. I mean, just absolutely caffeine rush to the max.
Oh yeah.
I hear that stuff that that's enlarging kids' hearts and all that, but then at the same time I think, well, man, we've drinking black coffee and tea for years and years and years. Is it doing the same thing, or is there something different? Yeah, Cheryl, exactly. But I love my coffee. I'm right there with you.
I do too. I wonder, is it the coffee? Is it the caffeine? Or is it all of these roots and herbs that they're putting in that? They put a lot of extra stuff in there. And then you got your GMO and all that,
Absolutely.
You don't just get what you're buying. They have to add all their additives to it. And I've been trying to pay more attention to what I'm eating and drinking. I've been reading a lot of stuff, and man, they're putting a lot of weird stuff in our food. Pop-Tarts.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts.
Truth.
Yeah, look that up. That'll blow your mind what they're putting in those.
I don't know if I want to. I'll tell you what. Here's what AI says. Caffeine is a stimulant that temporarily increases heart rate and blood pressure by blocking androstenedione receptors and stimulating adrenaline-like hormones. For most healthy adults, moderate intake is about 400 milligrams a day, roughly 2 to 5 cups of coffee. However, heavier habitual consumption, more than 5 to 6 cups, can raise blood pressure, heart rate, all that. Now, energy drinks often contain high caffeine doses between 113 and 240 per 16-ounce servings. Okay, that's significantly less than than coffee. Interesting.
Right.
Plus other stimulants, like you said, taurine, guarana, ginseng, and high sugar content. While caffeine alone can raise heart rate and blood pressure, the combination of multiple stimulants and high sugar in energy drinks have a great acute cardiovascular impact than coffee. Um, so there you go. Um,
Huh.
that may be the why behind that.
It's almost like a cocktail, huh?
Yeah, I'm a big ginseng fan, so I I kind of I don't like that. I think it's the abuse of them. When someone has not one monster, but it's like four of them a day, that's when we
Right.
get that's when we just start like going crazy, and then that person, like you said, is dehydrated, and then they're not eating right. It just I think it's like a multitude of things. It's not just one thing, it's everything.
I think it, how, how in shape we are too. You
I
know,
mean, yes, that's the biggest thing. And if you're going to go out in the woods, and I want you to go out in the woods. The woods is a great place to go to get in shape. But I also want people to not push themselves. Like, we're not 20 anymore. None of us are.
yeah.
So like, we can't just push on through it, man. Like, if you feel this doesn't feel right, stop, turn around, go back out the trail. Don't go off trail. Things of that nature. So
That's
I've
what
had
my
to.
doctor said last time I went in there. He goes, "You're not a spring chicken no more." You
Oh,
know,
yeah, that I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth, man.
he said, "Used to, when you're young, you don't have to work so hard keeping yourself in shape to be able to do things because, well, you ride your bike, you play some basketball, you're active. As we get older, he said, we become less active, but our brain says, you know what, I can still do that,
Oh yeah.
and
I
and we can't."
Yes, yes, exactly. It's like I want to do X or Y. I want to run. I want to be able to hike 7 miles. And I've tried, and I had knee surgery afterwards. It just
Oh
happens,
wow.
man. They just start saying no. These joints and these bones, we have to work our way up. And I'm not saying you can't. You just got to work your way up. You just can't jump right into it.
There was a guy that we knew. He decided he was going to get in shape, and he just started walking. He ended up having a heart attack. The doctor's like, you can't just, if you're going to do it, you got to start out slow. Uh,
Yep.
I got where I walk because I have diabetes and I refuse to take medication for it. So what I do is they call it the backdoor effect. What
Okay.
I'm doing is I'm losing weight and I'm walking. And whenever you burn the sugar as opposed to sitting, your body, instead of having to use your pancreas to produce insulin to break the sugar down, if you go out and you walk and you raise your metabolism, your body says, nope, we don't need to break that sugar down now. We got to send it to the muscles so we can burn it. And you can
Hmm.
drop your A1C dramatically just by being active. They call it the backdoor effect. That way, your pancreas isn't having to do all the work. Like the guy that didn't have the medication. One of the tricks I do when I go out for my medication, those little cases that you can buy that's got for contacts that you can screw the lids off both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
I put a dose in one side and then my other dose in the other for a day. Screw that on, and I throw it in my pocket with my change.
Hmm.
It works
Okay.
perfect. It's not big. It screws on tight, and I've got a day's worth of medication if I need
Hey, that's actually super smart. And that way, like, and heck for it. A doctor's office will, at your eye doctor, they'll give you a case. I mean, they're super easy, and they're what, $2-3 anyway. If you
Yeah.
do like and I like the fact, like you said, that screws on, because regular pill bottles, they're big and clunky, and pill
Right.
like the pop tops, they can pop open and whatnot. But that screw on, I mean, that's smart. I like that. Write that
I
down.
like them. And you can use it, once you take your medicine out and you use it, then you have something that you can, put something else in if you need it for later, if you find something, and they don't take up no room because they're pretty much flat. I mean, you throw them in your pocket, you don't even know you have it.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Dude, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, because, I've thought about that too. I was like, if I get lost down here, I'm pretty sure if I get lost, most of the time when I'm in the woods, I have my sidearm. I have my knife. I always have usually two knives on me. I've got my my long knife, and then I carry a pocket knife, an old timer. And
you like that old timer?
Oh yeah, yeah. Got the old grandpa passed down one, and then I've got this one here. This is my woodland knife that I carry. I love it. It's a cold steel. It's a
Oh yeah.
It's an SRK.
Let's take a look. Yeah, dude, those are great. Love cold steel. You get a lot of bang for your buck with cold steel.
I love this thing. It's got a thick spine on it. It's got a lot of strength to it, and I love the case. It's got a retention case. It has the holes in it to drain the water.
Yep.
If we're in the water, I love that little thing. I take it everywhere, and then I carry of course, the pocket knife. So I'm pretty confident if I've got medication, I get lost, I can do 3 days, probably pretty comfortable, because I carry in my little bag. I always have a little bag I take with me that I throw around me. It's just a little pouch bag, but I've got protein bars in it. I've got they lifesavers in case I have a sugar drop, and I just throw just a bunch of stuff in there. And I'm like, I can make it on this if I have to.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, you can.
And I think and sometimes if I'm sitting down there and you don't have to use it as an emergency, you might just want a snack, and then you got a snack on you while you're fishing.
That's for me. I like that snack while I'm fishing.
Yeah, I do too.
Dad used to always carry those Chewy bars, and man, like I was going. The wild thing is when I was going through all his stuff. He's got 20 backpacks, and I'm going through and doing all that, and I'm going through it, and I'm finding Chewy bars, just stuffed in every little pocket. And Dad wasn't about to go hungry.
Right.
So, but he had exactly what you did. He had a little kit with him. He had socks and he had an extra thing of clothes and Chewy bars, and he had medication. He had blood pressure medication. He had ibuprofen, Tylenol, Imodium. Stuff like that, Pepto-Bismol, just stuff to really help you out and little things like that. Oh, just over the counter stuff that in 3 days can make your life a heck of a lot better. Cause having diarrhea out in the woods sucks.
Oh yeah.
Take you an Imodium and worry about going to the bathroom when you get to the house.
And I've had that happen, folks. Bad spam. That was terrible.
Yes, and just little things like that. And he carried it in a little Tic Tac bottle. That's what he had. His little Tic Tac bottle full of that over the counter stuff.
Right. Yeah. I don't blame him, because you're out in the heat, you're walking, the humidity and everything. Your sugar's going to drop.
Oh yeah.
Your body's burning fuel out there. And I wear snake boots too. I have a pair of snake boots. I'm a big believer in those. copperheads. I mean, you almost can't even see them. And then the other day, I saw the first one. I've never seen one this big. I saw about a 5-foot rattlesnake the other day crossing the road, and we stopped and looked at him, and I was like, man, if you took a bite from something that big, you'd be in trouble.
Oh, dude, absolutely you would. Absolutely you would. And that's
And
like at least and didn't get to like some immediate attention, you know, I it could definitely kill you, obviously. But like if you didn't get immediate attention, I mean, you're hurting. You might lose at least a few toes, if not the foot, genuinely.
right,
And
and
and God forbid that if it hit an actual artery, man,
oh,
you're pretty screwed.
whenever I done my first responders class, I was required to be a first responder when I had my cleat, and we went over snake bites. And we had a hematologist from the Tulsa Zoo came in and he talked to us, and he said that a lot of people don't think about this, but he said, they'll say, "Oh man, if I get bit, the likelihood of me dying from the venom is very low." And he said, a lot of people do survive a snake bite from a venomous snake and they don't die. But like what you said, the amputation and everything. But he said the one thing that a lot of people don't think about is the anaphylaxis that can happen with that bite. He said then you have two life-threatening events going on. You have a venomous bite, and now you have a life-threatening allergic reaction. So what he told us to do, if we encountered somebody that had been bitten by a venomous snake while like a search and rescue or something, they told us to give them the max dose of liquid Benadryl.
The the max dose, so that would just cause them to, um, basically that would take care of that shock. And I've heard of that before. Is people, you get stung by a bee or whatnot or anything like that. You got some Benadryl on you, and people don't know, man, that Benadryl is some powerful stuff. Like
Yeah,
it will do what it's supposed to do. So
and
hey, that makes sense.
he said liquid. He recommended liquid. He said make sure it's liquid, uh, and also to carry an ace bandage and to wrap the wound and to go above the wound. Now the new thing is to keep the bite at heart level as you can. They say not below and not above now, to keep it at heart
Interesting.
level. Yeah,
They change that. They change that every year. But
just
I
like
get it. There's
CPR.
obvious, dude. Yeah, ain't that right with CPR? It's what used to be 2 breaths, 30 compressions. Now it's 30 compressions, no breaths.
Yeah,
And by the first or second compression, you need to have broken their sternum. You're pressing so hard. I mean,
yeah.
it's pretty wild how it's different now, man.
Have you ever had to do that?
Dear God,
CPR?
no. My wife
I've
did.
I've
Oh, she
had
said it
to.
was terrible.
It is terrible, dude. You can hear the
So
crunching.
that's what she said. She said
Yeah,
that they had a code blue, which in hospital terms is someone's not breathing, and that's they're and they'll run chest compressions. So I think there was an old 80-year-old woman, and they were running chest compressions. And basically, what happens? It's terrible, but this is what happens in hospitals. If someone has a code blue, they'll run chest compressions on them for as long as that family member tells them to do it. And we're
right.
talking about someone's just cranking those chest compressions out as long as they can, and they run them in a line, and it's terrible, and it sucks. It
It's
sucks.
hard.
Yep,
I
it really is. So if you ever have a heart attack, dear God, I pray you don't, and all that, and they bring you back to life, they've broken your ribs. It's a hard day.
You're gonna be sore. And
Oh,
I wore out really fast. I didn't think, when we first done our training, I was like, well, I could probably do this for a little while. Not when you're really doing it. Man, I wore
what
out so fast. We were having to switch, me and my partner, just back and forth.
dude. Yeah, it is incredible. Like, because you see, in movies, they're just pushing. Like, no,
Right.
you've got to lock your arms out, and I mean just
You
full
got to get in
force,
there.
just crank. But the whole goal is you're pumping blood. The goal is you're pumping blood throughout the system, trying to get that bad boy started back up again. It's almost like cranking an engine is what you're really trying to do. Just crank the engine of your body.
It's like priming an engine.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
You're
That's
trying to get it to.
trying to
You
get it
know,
working.
a lot of people, they see, we just had a drowning too, and that's another thing that people need to, I think, be aware of too, is floodwaters.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those that I done something that I shouldn't have done last summer, and almost paid the price. I was
What'd you
fishing.
do?
Oh, I was fishing, and the river was coming up, and it was overflowing into this big creek, and I just knew them catfish were in there.
Of course.
And I tried to wade through it. It's about knee high, and almost ended up having to swim out of there. That force of that water, man, that was surprising. I mean, it was strong.
Man, I think that people don't understand the quickness of a flood. If it's raining and you're by a body of water, the amount that it can rise up is significant. Like it is quick, is significant. And I'm almost to the point where, like, if you're fishing by a body of water, like, like, I don't want you to be like carry a flotation device or anything like that, but at some point, like, you've got to be able to get out of there and have a way out. Like, don't push it. Is what we're trying
Yeah.
to say. Is like,
Yeah.
really don't push it. And then if you are in a flood prone area, man, if you can buy you one of those $1,000 John boats and put like and get a paddle, or put you one of those little trolling motors on it, dude, you could save in a pinch. You could save lives, genuinely. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's the thing. Say, I know that's good. That's right, Irish, because I do too. What was he
Yeah,
saying? Sorry.
I'm not sure.
What
Not
are
sure.
you saying, Donna? Yeah, I need some floaties, Tina.
Well, another thing, I think I've never experienced a flash flood except for one time. And it's exactly what you said. I had my car parked, and I was probably parked 100 yards from the creek, and it was raining. And it had been kind of raining all day, just a little bit. Not hard, just like a sprinkle, enough you could fish in and be okay.
Absolutely.
And then a downpour happened. And I was like, I'm going to run to the car, till the downpour passes, and I'll come back down here. And I start hearing, best way to describe it is, it sound like, how deer sound when they're running through the woods? You hear that, like, hitting the leaves and everything.
Absolutely,
I started hearing that, and I start looking for the deer. I'm like, what's in there? And it wasn't deer, it was water. And that water came across my feet and across that road. That creek had swelled that fast. And I had to start my car and leave because it was boiling up over the sides of my tires.
Yeah, that'll definitely happen. Oh, and like I said, just quick. And it's funny that you were like, oh, it's a deer, it's something like that. Like, nope, it's that water.
Yeah, I just thought, something was out there, a squirrel or something. I was like, what is that? And you can hear it coming too. You can hear that shh,
Yep, you definitely
and I was
can.
like, what in the world? And we, prayers to the family. We lose somebody down here every year. We lost a gentleman this week that actually drowned in this floodwater, and no life jacket. And I've told people forever, I can swim. I'm not the best swimmer in the world. I can swim, but when I go out in a boat, I wear a life jacket. I spoke to
have a flotation device with you. Yep.
Oh yeah, wardens have told me too. They said, if you fall and what happens is people fall out of a boat, he said, for instance, and they're a good swimmer. And he said the family always says, he was such a good swimmer. He said, but when you fall out of that boat, and it can happen in the daytime, happens a lot more at night or low light, you become disoriented under the water.
Yeah. Yep.
And he said, you're swimming down and you think you're swimming up.
Oh, I believe
And he
it.
said a lot of people will swim to the bottom, think they're swimming to the top. Now, how scary would that be?
That insanely scary. Insanely scary. And
You think, ugh.
and and once you and once your brain turns off, you're done, man. Oh, that's scary, man. That's terrifying.
I couldn't imagine swimming in that dark, murky water, and you think you're about to get to the top, and the next thing you know, your hand just takes a big old handful of mud, and you're like, I'm at the bottom,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh,
that dark water, it freaks me out anyways. I don't like that dark water, especially at nighttime. That old flood water, just something about that flood water just gives me an eerie feeling.
True. That yeah, because there's just so many people that have gotten caught up in those floods, man. I mean, remember we looked back at that flood in, was it Texas? Those poor girls got caught up in.
Oh yeah.
So and that was just at this little cabin by the river, and man, I'm telling you, like flash flooding, like if you're in a flash flooding area, man, and they talk about flooding and it's raining and all that, and you get that alert, get the heck out of Dodge, man. Like, do not, like, just like walk up the hill, for goodness sake. By the time they did anything, it was too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So. And like what Irish said, a lot of people, their friend will drown trying to save them. It's not an easy death either. I've talked to first responders that have found drowned victims, and they said it's a pretty horrible thing to go through. They said you're going to breathe in and out water until you go unconscious, and they said the feeling of breathing that water in, it causes tremendous chest pain and everything while it's happening. So it's not something that you want to experience. They said it is pretty bad.
Yeah, man. I can only imagine. Oh.
So what you got coming up, man? What are you doing outdoorish?
So I've got a few things coming up. Hunting season's coming up for, let's see when Tennessee's got squirrel season coming up. Give me just a second. So let's see Tennessee squirrel season. Tennessee.
You're pretty close to another channel I watch. You ever heard of Kendall Gray?
I feel like I have, but
he's in Kentucky. That guy's crazy. He hunts and fishes all the time.
I love it. Squirrel season opens May 9th and closes June 14th. So we're still we've already shut down for the spring. So when's the fall one? Let's see. Spring's 2027. Let's see what we can do.
They must be having.
Oh, yeah. So it's August. So it starts back in August. So you got a month to let them cool off and whatnot. You've got dove season coming up. So and then I'm going to try to get these deer coming to the property and see if I can get one later in kind of late season, or maybe even do like an early season velvet hunt.
Oh yeah.
And do that, but you have to pay here to bait. So I'm debating on paying that extra little $50 to bait, but you kind of give them permission to come and look at your stuff. So it's kind of I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, see, I'm lucky here in Oklahoma. we can bait on leased property or private property.
Right.
And they don't care if we do that. So you doing the Creedmoor this year, or are you going to use something else?
I think I'm going to do the Creedmoor again. But this year, I really do want to use Dad's 30-30 and his 30-06, and I can't talk, or I can't show it on camera. I don't want it to get kicked off YouTube. They're getting really really weird about that. Have you seen that with firearms stuff?
Yeah, they sent me their thing and told me that I can show them on a pre-record, but I can't tell people to buy this kind, and I can't show how to put accessories on it.
Yeah, you can't take it apart. You can't do anything with it. So,
but look at the other stuff that they do allow. I'm like, really, y'all are worried about guys out hunting and fishing, and you're allowing,
They allow quite a bit on there. I mean, let's just be real. They allow so much adult content that skirts the line so bad.
Yeah.
And I've even been, scrolling through YouTube Shorts, and they'll have an AI thing on there, and it shows everything, and I'm like, dear God,
Yeah.
and they'll catch it within like a day, but it still gets through the initial ads. So it's wild to me how that works.
Yeah, and that 30-06 of your dad's, that's what I use. I love 30-06. I've got its big brother too. I've got a 300 Winchester Magnum.
Woo, boy, that's a shoulder bruiser.
It kills on both ends, dude. That thing.
That's what I hear.
Oh my God, 150 grainer out of it. Really not too bad. But man, when I shoot that 180 out of it, oh my gosh, that thing.
Man,
it's not pleasant, it's not something I just want to take out to the range. But them things, man, they'll do the job. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he said he goes moose hunting, and this old guy said he uses a 243, and he said never has any trouble. He said now
I've heard 243. It's so underrated, and everybody is like, oh, it's a baby caliber. It's like, just because it doesn't bruise your shoulder doesn't mean it's a baby caliber.
Right. There's a big long debate, where people, is it big and slow that gets the animal, or is it small and fast?
Yeah, people. There's a lot of people that don't have any problems with Creedmoor at all, man. It's all shot placement. It's all shot placement, and it's all transferred energy.
And it doesn't take a lot to bring a deer down.
No, it doesn't. You want, like I said, you have to have again proper shot placement. I'm a lot, the good old standby is double lung, right behind the shoulder, double lung and heart and whatnot. Now some people will do the neck, and I have heard the neck will bring it down 24/7, 365.
That's what I was going to tell you. Most of the time, whenever I wanted to go and if I needed meat, if I was really hurting, needed some meat, I tell you what I'd do. I would grab my 223 bolt action.
Yep.
That thing, man, you could drive a nail with it, and you go out there, and I'd shoot them in the neck and I'd drop them like a toilet seat. Boom.
I have heard nothing but that, and in East Tennessee, we can use any center fire cartridge. It does not matter the caliber as long as it's center fire. It can't be rim fire. Now it can be rim fire if it's like 7.62 by 54 R, which is rim fire. But they like that center. They want it. They want it center fire.
I've never shot a 6.5. I've got a lot of friends, and they love them.
It's light, man. People hate on it. It's a great caliber.
People hate on it, but you know what's funny? more deers being killed with the 22 long rifle than any other bullet.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? That, you know, 30 and 22, that they bring home deer. And, you know, in a lot of states, you're not allowed to use 22 anymore. But like you said,
Yeah.
you pop a deer in the neck with a 22, it's going down.
Oh, yeah. My
It
grandpa
is.
did. That's all he ever used, a 22, you know. And growing up, you know, the large caliber, I remember growing up that everybody, you know, we was always like, Grandpa's getting the big gun, you know. It was the 30-30. It was
Yep.
the do-it-all cartridge. And if you know, I was reading back. I like to watch Spooner, and he was talking the other day, and he was like, before these other rifles were created, people were elk hunting, moose hunting. They were doing everything with that 30-30, you know. And then, you know, you get the 30-06 that came out, the 270, and everybody thought, well, you got to have at least something that, you know, like what you said, it's going to hurt you. If it don't hurt you, then it's not. The 30-30 done it for how many years, you know?
The 30-30 is, I think let's take a look. I think it's one of the oldest calibers in existence. So let's look up 30-30 history real quick, because I
And
am
now
a
they're,
huge fan.
what are those? Now they're making those Leverlutions, ain't that what they're called?
Yeah, the Leverlution. Hornaday's making the Leverlution, and it is really, really good. So let's take a look. Come on. Let's come on. All right. So the 30-30 Winchester. So let's see. Cartridge was first marketed by Winchester in the model 1894. So you're
Oh, wow.
talking about that is so 1894 to 2025. So over 120 years old. So
Yeah.
pretty incredible. Like 30-30 has remained widespread and is used almost entirely because of reliable effectiveness in civilian applications, and has put food on the table for millions of people in hunting situations. Amen. The 30-30 is by far the most common cartridge shot in lever action rifles. It is sustainably more powerful than the Magnum handgun cartridge, so it's way more powerful than a 357, 41, 44. You know, a lot of people will think that the 30-30 is it's this round
Right.
it's just this high arcing, like it's this round that's just not going to do anything, and that is not the case. Like it
Right.
is, you know, for Grandpa's old gun, like people don't understand. Like a 30-30 is phenomenal. Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
phenomenal round. It does the job. It's not going to absolutely destroy your shoulder, and you know, I think we all get really bougie. Like, oh, I want to do, and I'm the same way. Oh, I want to do 6.5. Oh, I want to do the
Right.
5.56. All that. But dude, there's a reason why that 30-30 has lasted 120 years,
Yep.
and it is because it is consistent. It puts food on the table, and man, lever action guns. There's just something about a lever action. It just
Yeah.
works. Like
I love them.
you can have that lever action gun unoiled, put away in the back of a closet somewhere, and pull it out every year, use it 3 times, and put it back, and it'll shoot exactly the same. And that's
Yep.
why people like it. It's at some point, you know, it's reliable, and now they're expensive, but you
Oh,
know,
yes. Yeah.
it used to be what, $500-600, no big deal, but now they're 8 9, and everything's gone up. But man, get you a good Henry, get you a good Marlin, or even Rossi's not a terrible one now.
Right. Yeah.
You know, get you one of those and go to town, man, and go to town, and you will put meat on the table if you hit it where you're supposed to hit it with a 30-30. Into period, into sentence. And most people have this, and I feel like I'm ranting a little bit, but most people have this idea that I'm going to shoot this deer across the field and all that. man, most deer encounters happen within 75 yards. Genuinely.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
unless you're set up on like this big, 100-acre field.
I think the furthest I've ever had to shoot a deer was 50 yards, maybe.
Yeah.
And
I shot my first buck at 125 with that 6.5, but it was a leased field. I was in a blind, and it was it was just kind of one of those things that he walked out and got a good shot on him at 125. But past that, I've never shot a deer past 60 yards past that. I'd been in a tree stand, and with a smoke pole, shot one. And
I love doing that. I love
dude, the smoke pole's amazing.
that. It is. I love that.
But I did that, and I'll tell you what, it's amazing. Every deer looks humongous in your sights, and then you walk up to it, and then it's like, I've killed a baby dog. I mean, it's you really think it's huge. Yeah, exactly, Mike. I never had to shoot over 100 yards, and I think 95% of people don't shoot over 100 yards.
My uncle told me one time, and I thought it was pretty smart what he said. He was a Navy SEAL. He was a sniper in the SEALs, and he said, all these people want to shoot far and buy these big guns that'll shoot far. He said, that's all good. But he said, the thing is, if you don't know how to dope a scope and you don't know how to set it, he said, it don't matter if it'll reach that far or not if you can't hit your target. He said, there's a lot goes into long range shooting. It's not just put the crosshairs on it and fire.
That's exactly
he said,
right.
Most people can't make that long of a shot, and he always said all he ever needed, he said, for around, where we live, a 30-30, 30-06, and a 12 gauge. And he said, I can do anything I need to do.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. A lot of people will have these. A lot of people will have their guns for survival, and
Right.
I absolutely want to scream when I hear it. And they're like, the first gun I'm going to have is my 9mm. I'm like, you're not going to do jack crap with that. Or the first gun is like, I'll have this AR-15, and I'm like, we think of survival, and we have this fantasy. And I'll get to your questions in there. I see you, Irish. We have this fantasy that like survival is going to be the apocalypse, and there's going to be roaming hordes, and we're going to be like the Walking Dead, and we're just going to be mowing people down. And that's just not the case. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and if you are, you're not going to last.
No, absolutely, you're not going to last. So a lot of people are like, oh, I got to get an AR-15 for survival. Like, what are you going to do with that? Are you going, because you can hunt deer with it, but you have to be like a good shot, and whatnot. So give me 1 second. Keep talking. Okay. I'll be right back.
I have heard a lot of people say exactly what he's talking about, and in that kind of a scenario, I plan on being what they call the gray man. And if a lot of y'all, aren't familiar with that, that's you want to blend in to everybody. You don't want to stand out. You don't want to be that guy that's got all the camo on, driving the nice Humvee with all the food.
Because you don't want to be that guy. Dear gosh.
You're the target.
I'll watch these people like on these again, theatrical things. You have to remember, these are movies. These are theatrics. Was it Homestead or Homesteader? And they've got this big $1 million homestead. They got all these guys with AR. I'm like, that's horse crap. That ain't gonna be the thing. What with an AR-15, yes. Can you defend your house? Absolutely. Is it great for that? Yes. But it's not really great for putting meat on the table. It can, but it's a glorified. If you've ever shooting a deer with a 22 or a 223 versus a 30-30, a 30-06, or even a 12 gauge slug. There's a huge difference of energy transfer.
Yep.
Yes, you can shoot them in the neck, and that's all that. But most of us ain't that good a shot. And just being real with you. Now,
Right.
When I see the Guns for Survival, my thing is I want people to have exactly what you said. I want people to have a large caliber rifle that will bring down game and stop it in its tracks, like a 30-30, a 30-06, something that'll reach out and touch you with some power behind it.
Right.
You shoot a 30-06 through. I'm just being real with you. I don't care what body arm. Like I said, a two-legged. Let's say this like this: a two-legged animal wearing body armor. I don't care who it is. You shoot a 30-06 to the chest, they're going to stop. Period.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're having a bad day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I've got this 9mm carbine or whatnot," and it's like that's not going to get you food. What'll get you food is that 30-30 or that 12 gauge, and then having different shot loads for that 12 gauge. I'm a big proponent of hunting small game with a single shot 12 gauge or even a pump 12 gauge.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, have you seen where they're making those inserts now for the single shot shotguns to shoot rifle bullets and 22s and all that?
Yeah. The Short Lane Arms will make those inserts, and you can shoot a 22, 357. You can shoot any straight walled cartridge out of those things, and they're great. They're a great solution. Great solution for that. But I think that I've got a Mossberg 500, and that Mossberg 500 will do anything I need it to.
Oh yeah.
With the right load, with the right ammunition, I can kill a dove from it to a deer from it by just the ammunition, and that's the incredible part about a 12 gauge shotgun. And that's why. Go ahead.
Guns are tools. They're just like a tool. The right tool for the right job.
That's exactly right. And I'll be honest with you too. A 12 gauge for home defense is the best home defense gun with the right load, with the right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Any SWAT team does not want to come against a 12 gauge buckshot. They just don't. Period. That's because they know no matter what, someone's unfortunately getting not coming home that day. They just being real with you. Go ahead.
I carry a buckshot high brass. It's got 9.38 caliber lead balls in it.
Yes, and at the right distance, that's taking chunks of someone away. That's not just hurt. That's not just putting holes in somebody. That's blowing chunks away.
Or a slug? Could you imagine a slug?
A slug at less than 10 yards? Oh my gosh! Oh, that's just that'd be wild.
I don't even see that being survivable.
No, it's not. I don't think it is. And again, this is all with one gun and one tool, and I think the shotguns just get no love. So whenever I see somebody on there saying, the five guns or the guns for survival or the things you need to have for survival, and the first thing they say is an AR-15 or a 9mm, they completely don't have the right mindset. Period. End of sentence.
Yeah, because number one, you're going to want to avoid all people you don't know, because there's not going to be hospitals. So you get hurt, as minor as it may be, you may die from infection from that weeks later. A small cut could actually be the death of you. Kind of like back in the old Western, what was it on that Billy the Kid show, where he's talking to the Indian guy and he's like, oh, he killed me back there. He was gut shot. He wasn't dead yet, but he knew that back then that was a
Oh, yeah.
mortal injury. I'm not going to survive this. And
Right.
a lot of people also don't understand all a 22. It's a 22 bullet setting on a lot of gunpowder. That's all it is.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So a lot of
It's
people will, 223 is a 22 sitting on a lot of gunpowder.
What is it? A
And going
regular
really
22
fast.
is like what, 40 grain, and a 5.56 is 55.
Let's see, 5.56 grain, real quick.
I think the average is like 55 grain, and then you got, I think the regular 22 long rifle is like 40 grain.
Let's take a look. NATO 5.56. Let's see how many grains it is. So 5.56 history. 22 caliber. Magazine capacity. Come on, give me the answers I'm looking for.
Yeah, give you everything but
it gives me everything but, yes.
And I'm sure they have some probably match grade ones out there, I'm sure too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got more. So rifle barrel performance. Here we go. It's not gonna tell me. Here we go. 62 grains.
62.
62 grain lead core bullet. So I don't know if it says powder though, but yeah, the velocity on this bad boy is at certain out of a good old fashioned 16-inch barrel, it's coming out at 2,900 feet per second, which is, hey, that's still a whole bunch.
That's like 30.6 speed.
It is. Again, the thing is that 62 grains of bullet. It's to me, it's too light to really knock down that deer.
And that's what I was going to say. I wonder how stabilized that is too for long range. You wouldn't think it'd be that stable, that fast, that small.
It is very, very stable, but it just, and when we're talking about grains, we're talking about the bullet weight. That's not enough bullet weight, in my opinion. Again, this is Travis's opinion to really put down on a deer. Let's see. Let's go back to that 30-30 real quick, and just for comparison, let's see here. So 30-30. Let's see what that is. So here you go. 30-30 already. You ready for this? 110 grains at 2,684 feet per second. So double, just about close to double the amount of weight that bullet is coming out at the exact same speed. A 30-30 versus.
Yeah, and a lot more frontal mass too. That's going to slam it.
Exactly. Think about this. 110 grains is 1,760 foot-pounds of energy per square inch. That's a hit. That is a smack.
What's the 150 grain do out of that 30-30?
150 grains is coming out of like a 10, let's a regular good old fashioned 10, one is 2,390 feet per second. So a little bit slower, but still 1,009 feet, foot-pounds of pressure.
That thing's cooking. I mean, that's still fast.
It's still fast. You get your best performance, it looks like, or most pound, bang for your buck out of 160 grain, which, let's take a look. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look and see what 30-30 ammo we like to use around here.
I know that, man, ammo has took such a large jump right now. My gosh. I remember.
Buddy, you ain't lying.
I used to go to the store and buy 30-30, 30-06, $15, $16 a box. Not no more.
Oh, no. I've got it in the garage. But yeah, Dad's got the good old fashioned Remington green box 3030s. Let's see the core
Oh
locks.
yeah,
Let's
the
see what
most
they
deadly
are.
mushroom in the woods.
It is,
Yeah.
dude. I'll tell you what it puts meat on the table, and it put. I mean, it's I've got deer meat in the freezer now from it. So let's see. Remington Core Lock 3030. Let's see. Remington Core Lock 3030. Let's see. I do not want to guess I'm over 18. Caliber. It's 100. Yeah. So it's 150 grains. So those core locks. So at 150 grains, that's 2,900 or 2,390 feet per second. That's 1,900 foot-pounds per square inch. That's a big boy. That's
That's
that
all you're going
will
to need.
you know I'll put someone down. Versus again, I'm just trying to tell people give realistic stuff at why I get so roll my eyes with this. So like at a 62 grain, at and this is again they're coming out 62 a 55 grain coming out is, I mean, well, ballistic performance on a 556 is really moving. So that's going to
Yeah.
actually be a little bit better. You still get about 1,700 at 62 grains. So I'll give you that. But most people ain't buying 556. They're buying 223s. So
Yeah,
let's
and they're
do
also
223.
buying full metal jackets too.
Exactly. So
A non-expanding bullet.
bingo. So your good old fashioned 55 grains. Okay, 55 and again 55 grain. That's what everybody's going to have, or a ballistic tip. That's going to come out. It's going to be humming. It's going to be humming around 3,000 feet. But it's got 1,200 feet according to the internet. It's got 1,200 foot-pounds of energy. So again, you've got much bigger bullet, much more energy coming out. I mean, pretty close to the same speed. So that's
And what
just go
a
ahead.
lot of people don't understand too is you don't want the bullet to want it to stay inside. That way it absorbs the energy.
That's correct too. I don't think the biggest thing is people think that they also, I've been saying the biggest thing, it's not, but like you said, you want to be able to transfer that energy into the animal, and that mushrooming is what does it. That's why you have hollow point ammo for self-defense too. Same thing is you want to transfer that energy of the bullet to the person or the thing, and that is what necessarily is that stopping power that puts them on puts them on the ground, let's say. So
it's like, do you want to be hit by an arrow or a train?
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. An arrow will kill. It'll kill slower.
Right.
That bullet is really what you want. So that's the why. But getting back to, there was someone made a comment about with a 12 gauge you're picking shots out of the meat. It depends on the load. You have to use the proper loading. Here's a good example. If I shoot a squirrel with 4 to 5 shot, I'm going to destroy that squirrel or be picking out meat out of it. But if I use a 6.5 to 7 shot bird shot, I'll kill that squirrel. But I really those beads will really be stuck, to be honest with you, in its fur, and they'll make it through, but they won't make it through the meat. What usually happens is one of those pellets will get them in the head, and that's what I'm going for. And at that point, it'll put it down. It really won't mess up the meat.
And that's exactly what I use too, 6-shot.
There you go. And don't use high brass, because if you use high brass, you'll destroy it too. I've done that before. And what I'm saying by high brass is high amount of powder in there. So it's a little nuance, and things and such as life. Things in life are nuanced, but if you learn it and do well, it's really, really, you can do so much out of a 12 gauge. Hammer Time says, I inherited my dad's collection, and I collected guns. And I collect guns also. I have everything from a 25 caliber to a 45 caliber and handguns, and I have several shotguns from 410 to 12 gauge. I love my 20 gauge pump. Oh, that is such a great gun. 20 gauge is so underrated. Doesn't destroy the shoulder. That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty awesome.
I got one I'll have to send you photos of, since I can't show you on here. I've got an old Winchester 12 gauge. And
nice.
It's got the hammer on it. The old Stagecoach, cool.
Oh, yes.
I've got it.
That's fun stuff.
I've got a 16 gauge double barrel that still has the black powder original shotgun shells with it.
Wow.
Yeah, I collect guns. I've got a 32 that came from the war, that actually has Berlin, Germany stamped on it with the the 2 Z's,
yeah, exactly. I do know.
Yeah, I've got it with the holster and everything, the leather underarm holster and everything. Yeah.
Oh man, that's wild. Shoot,
yeah, I've always, just the history of those, I love the history, like what you were talking about earlier, the Mosin Nagant, and all those rifles. Just, there's so much history, I've got an SKS.
Oh, that's love the SKS.
First rifle I ever bought, dude. I got my first job. I turned 18. I could buy my first gun. I went to the pawn shop, and he's like, I got this one right here.
Was it little Norinco? Is that what it is?
No, it's it came out of China. I'll have to get it. But the cool thing was, I paid $90 for it. Everything on the gun, every serial number on the gun matches, even the cleaning kit and the stock.
That'll sell for $1,000 to $2,000 now. Wow.
I love that thing.
They don't sell it. That's amazing.
My first deer with it.
Yep. And that's the thing too, is, what is that? That's the 7.62 by 39, which is, the AK caliber or whatnot. And that's has same performance as a 30-30. So really very, very similar performance. So let's see, 7.62 by 39. Let's see what the performance on that is real quick. Can you tell I got the computer up and running?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, let me look up this.
I do that all the time. I'm always looking. And
so the ballistic performance on a 7.62 is, you've got 122 grain, 154 grain, or 123 grain. So let's start out with the 122 grain. Basically, that's the bullet size. The velocity on that bad boy is 2,300 feet per second, and 1,555 foot-pounds of force. So, I mean, very similar. We're talking within 400 or 500, with about 400 to 500, ish. So very similar to a 30-30 coming out. I mean, it'll do the job. I'm just a big, I like over 100 grains coming at an animal. I'm just being honest. I just like that weight, and I may be a snob, but that's what I like. But then again, I say that, and the 6.5, Creedmoor, let's see what it is. So, and it's 120 grains. Okay. So 6.5 Creedmoor's 120 grains, but it's coming out at 3,000 feet per second.
It's flying.
That is the big difference of these 6.5s, is you've got the exact same weight as a 30-30, but that bad boy's coming out a lot faster, a lot faster. So I think, for those that say, 6.5 Creedmoor is not good, that's just not the case. Let's look at 30-06 real quick and see how fast it's coming out while we're at it. So 30-06 is 150. Again, we're going off the lower ones. Right. So you got 150 grains, 180 grains, 200 grains. So a 30-06 is 180 grains going at 2,700 feet per second.
Yeah.
And it's hitting at 29, and it's hitting at 2,900 foot-pounds. So 2,900 versus 2,400. So, I mean, versus, the 30-30, which, again, I'm talking all big about the 30-30. 30-30 is coming out at 1,700. So the 6.5 Creedmoor on paper, is more effective.
Right.
Is closer to the effectiveness of the 30-06, whatnot. So, and people a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't, they love their old calibers, and I love my old calibers too. But I think people need to, I don't know. I think people get all wrapped around the axle about, well, this caliber's a wussy caliber. This caliber's the man caliber. And it's like, man.
You need a 4570.
Oh, my gosh. I want a 4570, but do I need a 4570? No. So
you'll never have to track a deer again.
Buddy, I want one. Trust me, I don't want to have to track. Okay. So here's another good one. 308. 160 grains, 2,600 feet per second, 2,600 foot-pounds. So, a 6.5 Creedmoor has, what did I say? It has 2,400 pounds, and a 308 has 26. So 308 is going to be a little bit more, and 30-06 is going to be a little bit more, but it's not out of the ballpark. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, the animal will never know.
The animal will never know. And we're talking about rifle calibers. And then when someone says, oh, I've got a 9mm carbine, I'm going to shoot deer with it. Let me just tell you right now, a 9mm, let's take a look. 9x19 Parabellum. Let's take a look. Let's see ballistic. Let's see if I can 9x19 ballistic, 9mm ballistic chart. And just tell you just what we're talking about here. So 9mm Parabellum ballistic chart. All right. You guys ready for this? You guys are going to be astonished by this. So let's say, hey, I'm going to get a 9mm. I'm going to kill deer with it, TCARP. All right, cool. Your 147 grain Hornady XTP, really good round, expensive round. 975 feet per second, 300 pounds of energy.
Yeah.
We're talking with rifles, we're talking in the thousands versus a 9mm, and you're talking less than 500.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no comparison. So I just don't want people to spend money on things that are not going to do what they need to do with those things.
That's what they've done in Oklahoma now. You can't even hunt with a 9mm. They won't let you hunt deer. I think it's a 40 and larger now is what they have to use.
That makes sense. And even heck, fire, even a 40.
I don't even see it being that much of a difference.
I bet you it's not. Let's see, a 40 caliber is going to be 468 foot-pounds of energy. So I just want people to understand that it's like don't spend the money on that stuff. And I know we kind of got away from the survival. We just got into calibers, but I just don't want people to just be fooled and by these things that are like, oh, these top 5 survival guns, and they've got a Glock 19, and it's like, no, dear, it's not it. It's not it. Isn't there a limit to what you are supposed to hunt with? I thought you couldn't use anything less than a 357 in Ohio. So hammer time, there is some states that they're a little weird. You can only use straight wall cartridges. So 357, 44 Magnum, 4570.
I've heard them talking a lot about the 350 Legend is making a comeback.
Yeah, the 350 Legends making a comeback because straight wall cartridge. So I think,
right. I think it is too.
350 Legend. Let's see here. 350 Legend center. Yeah. Yes, it's a straight wall cartridge. And that's just one of those stupid regulations that they put on there. It's like, oh, you can't use this. You got to use straight wall. And it's like, okay, okay, Bob,
Yeah.
But yeah, a 350 Legend, again, straight wall cartridge, but you're talking about 165 grains coming out there and popping something with 1,700 foot-pounds of energy. Again, we're talking in the thousands. Anything above 1,500 foot-pounds of energy, great. It'll pop something. Anything below that, like a pistol caliber, no, that's not going to do that.
And then they say, oh, these straight-walled, bullets are going to be safer. Well, the 4570 held the long-range championship for a long time. Let's see what a 4570, because if I'm being honest, that's what I want.
I do too. Is a 4570,
and I want it in stainless.
Oh, you want to stain? So do you want a Henry or do you want a Smith and Wesson?
I would probably go. Man, probably Smith and Wesson.
Okay, one of those new 1854 Smith and Wessons.
Yeah, I like those. They're and I get to thinking about how well that would fit in my backpack.
All right. Yeah. All right. So let me tell. So we talked about the 4570. All right, guys. So for those that are talking, and we make a joke about it. A 4570 is a huge bullet.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready for this? So 300 grains coming out at 2,000 feet per second. It's got 2,852 foot-pounds of pop. I mean, that'll annihilate. Could you imagine getting hit with that at 50 yards?
Oh my God. That's a buffalo gun, That's
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh. But
they're beautiful. They're also beautiful though. That's a beautiful gun.
It's a beautiful gun. I personally want the Henry. And I know that's sacrilegious because I live in Smith and Wesson territory. They moved down to East Tennessee, about 20 miles from where I am. So and I can probably get one at half price. But anyway, the 4570 from Henry, I wanted that case hardened one that has that has the beautiful browns. Yeah. Anyway, that's $1,300 later. Yeah.
Hey, maybe they'll sponsor you.
Yeah, I am not that big of a wig, so they're definitely not, man. But I'd love to have one.
I watch Hootie Who. You watch him?
No, I don't know who that is.
He does every kind of gun you could ever imagine, and he puts them through the test. And I love to watch him. He does paper plates. And you would be amazed at what he has found out shooting just paper plates.
Okay.
You would think that a stack of, paper plates at the dollar store, you'd shoot plumb through those. They won't.
Not the case? Not the case? Interesting.
You should do it. Like 100, I think he said 100 paper plates stopped the 270 and the 30-06.
There's going to be some redneck out there that's going to be putting paper plates over their door, behind, just duct taping their door with paper plates.
And that's what he does a lot. He does paper plates a lot. He does clay targets just for fun. He explodes clay. But man, he's got every kind of gun. If you want to see a gun, he has probably done it. Or Banana Republic. I watch him too. He's pretty funny.
I'll have to check that one out. Oh, yeah. So, do you want to know, real quick? You want to know how much these that 3030 core lock was? What the price is on it?
How much is it?
Online. You ready? $40 hairs.
Wow.
Oh. We all just cried in our beers.
Which 30-06, I just went to Academy the other day, and for 150 grain, federal there, it was $30 for 20.
Okay, that's not terrible. Let's see what it is on like a place. That's like from Remington's, where Remington's website. Of course, they're going to be more expensive, but while I'm looking this up, is like I couldn't imagine being shot with a 45-70. Absolutely, I couldn't either. Mike MC7094 has a good point. The 45-70 was produced as a military cartridge in the 1800s. That's absolutely correct. And actually the designation is 45 caliber bullet over 70 grains of black powder. That was before smokeless powder. So really, really cool little history there, Mike.
Yeah, it wasn't Quigley Down Under. Wasn't his it's supposed to be the 45-110 or something like that? It was. I think. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was 45 caliber. I love that. I love that movie. Oh, you sure you don't? Yeah. You sure you don't want him to stop yet? When he's riding that horse with that bucket. Have hilarious. You seen that?
I haven't. I'm sure it's really good.
You would love that movie. It's got Magnum PI guys in it. The old Magnum PI guy, and he goes to Australia to shoot dingoes, and he's got a custom. I think it's a 45-110 or something, and he puts a guy on a horse, to show this guy how well he can shoot. And the guy's like riding hard as he can with this bucket. And he's just sitting there taking his time, blowing on his sights and screwing them on, It's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, I bet. That's fun.
Are you a Western buff? Do you like Westerns?
I want to be. I just haven't got a chance to get into them.
Well, another one, if you get a chance, watch the movie Old Henry. I think it's on Tubi right now.
Yes. Watched it. It's so good. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
The end blew me away, dude.
I'm going to talk about it. So again, if you haven't seen Old Henry and you do not want it to be spoiled, please come back in 10 minutes. Okay? So I assume everybody that's still here has seen Old Henry. Oh my gosh, that is such a good movie, dude.
That blew me away at the end when he opened that box and those blew out. I was like, I know who he is now.
Yes, and that's that. It ended up being. It was so good. I mean, again, I'm not going to spoil it too bad, but when he did that, and he's like, the boys, getting on to him, and you're just this dad, and you're that, and there's actually some truth to it. There, a lot of people think that guy didn't pass. And what who knows? It's a good thing.
I don't think Pat Garrett killed him. I don't think he did. I think he let him go down to Mexico.
He may have, but so Old Henry. Again, I don't want to spoil it for people. I said I'm going to spoil it, but I'm not going to. Man. You've got to watch it. It is genuinely. It's one of those movies. It's a good. When westerns were made.
Right.
Westerns were made, and it wasn't this massive budget. It was, this is, one field and one house, and that's where everything takes place. And it's just, it's beautiful cinema. It's beautiful cinema. It's beautiful story. The guy that plays in Buster Scruggs, the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, he plays in it. He is absolutely incredible in it. Man, you got to watch it. Old Henry.
Yeah, it blew me away at the end, especially when he opened that box and the wanted pictures blew out of it. I was like, okay.
Oh, dude. And then you start looking, and dude, he looks spitting image of it, and it's so good.
It made sense, and I'm a history buff. I like that kind of history, like the Westerns, and I read a whole lot about it, and Pat Garrett, they said he owed Billy the Kid for saving his life, and that's why a lot of people thought that whenever Pat Garrett caught up to him, that he let him go on down to Mexico. And
I bet you that's what's up. And
I bet he
people
did.
didn't realize that that Billy the Kid could speak fluent Spanish.
Right.
And so in the movie Old Henry, that one Spanish guy says it, and he tells him, he's like, buddy, this ain't going to end well for you. You go on now.
Yeah.
And it just ends up being so good.
It's a great movie. It is. Dude, I know you work today, and I've had you on almost 2 hours. Your wife.
I didn't get a chance to work. I didn't work today. Usually Wednesdays are my off days, but we spent. I'm going to tell your audience this, okay? And I was told not to tell anybody. We spent the day looking at some side-by-sides.
Oh, you got to get one, dude.
Dude. So we finally have got in a financial place where, and I'm not big on debt. Been really preaching that, but man, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I can afford this payment. It's not going to kill me at all. When I mean at all, like this ain't going to kill me at all. And this, I'm thinking about getting a Polaris. It's an SP 570, like the 4-seater. And I had them. I'm going to have the dealership put a street package on it to make it street legal, so I can ride it down the road.
Right.
And like, it takes the place of a small pickup truck, which you can't find a small pickup truck that's worth a hoot that hasn't been ran through for under $15,000 anyway.
They're fun, dude. They are. They're worth it.
So that's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, a guy I watched, he just bought one. I don't know if you ever heard Doss Farms. He's here in Oklahoma. He went and bought one, and he's like, dude, if you own a ranch or you live in the country, this just has to go with it. He's like, they are so much fun.
Well, the Ford, Chevrolet, GM, they got rid of those small pickup trucks. They got rid of S10s and Rangers and all that, and you don't have a farm pickup truck anymore. And now, Polaris has made those little Rangers and Can-Am and all that stuff, and it's just taken the place of those pickups. And my goodness, it's a 2-cylinder 4-wheel drive vehicle that has a 10-gallon tank.
Right.
Will go 45 miles an hour. I mean, heck, far. What do you want?
Yeah, we took ours fishing, dude. We'd throw the fishing poles in the back of it, throw the worms back there, ice chest, and take off down to the creek.
That's kind of what I want to do is just put everything in the back, strap the girls in it, and we'll go down to the lake and have fun. And then when we're done, put everything in the back and drive up and not think anything of it. It's not a vehicle that we ought to worry about. Oh gosh, you got your mud in it, or anything like that. That's what it's made to do. And then it can do anything a Jeep can do. You know what I'm saying?
And with a lot less gas.
Yeah, that's the truth. I think we're able to get it for about $200 and we got a 5-year warranty on the thing. Again, we're thinking about it, like $270 a month. I mean,
Right.
I mean, you can't beat that.
You'll get that out of it the first month.
That's kind of my thing. Is like that's my thoughts on it. And and everything else is paid for. So I'm just that's what we spent our time doing today. And please, dear Lord, wink, wink, don't tell anybody. No, but anybody. Anyway, we're just thinking about it, but who knows?
So you still doing your other channel too? Are you still doing the cryptids?
Yeah, still doing Dad's channel. They since I moved, they wanted me to like verify address and stuff. So I've kind of been arguing with them on that a little bit. But I'm just kind of there's so many new subscribers that I can just really easily upload content, like just repurpose, upload, and do and make everything cleaner.
Right.
I really haven't got a chance to sit down and read or whatnot, and I need to do that. Like you said on your live the other day, finding time, energy, and mental energy to do it.
That's
Man,
it.
And I love cryptids just as much as the next person, but sometimes what happens is it can be pretty soul sucking. Like, I'm not trying to be mean about that. Like it's always so dark, and sometimes you don't want to be dark. You know what I mean?
And you're dealing with, what you're dealing with. We know what they are.
That's exactly right.
It is dark, and that's why I like this channel, the outdoors. You got to have an anchor to draw you back to where you come from.
That's exactly right. And in the way Dad found the cryptids and all that. He was enjoying his love for the outdoors. He was fishing. He was doing something he loved. And then like they showed up, and then he got curious and did that. But he genuinely, at the very end, like Dad was not a cryptid hunter anymore. He would tell you, he would make you aware, but he didn't hunt them anymore. He spent time fishing and outdoors and hiking, and that's was his thing. He didn't hunt them anymore. And
he was a knower. He knew.
Yeah, once you know, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, like, there's nothing to prove no more.
yeah. And did you? Oh, by the way, did you check out the how they talked about him on Joe Rogan with Dave Pilates? They talked about him.
I seen that. Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool, and
that was cool.
Of course, I love Joe, but Joe's not real. He doesn't really believe in Bigfoot, so he's going to poke fun and all that, and that's fine. He can poke fun. He's more than welcome to come down to the cemetery, stay the night, and see what happens. Les Stroud did it, and it didn't end up, and it jacked him up for a few years. So
a lot of people don't believe until they face it, until it happens.
Absolutely. And Les Stroud came and saw and experienced for himself that you're dealing with a heck of a lot more than something big and hairy, big hairy ape. So.
Oh yeah.
But
if it was just a big hairy ape, we'd have one in a zoo somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, Gary. So Gary was asking about that. What's my dad's name? So my dad's name is Scott Carpenter. Gary, you can look him up. You can look him up on YouTube, and you can find all that. But yeah, man, he was really big into Bigfoot. He was on the cutting edge of cryptid research with back trail camera usage and stuff like that. And then he was able to get and provide DNA evidence for a DNA study that was published, despite mainstream science not wanting it published. He would, and that proved the existence of Bigfoot. That is an unknown hominid. Big fancy words for unknown creature. That's related to humans. That's like a human hybrid, which is really freaky when you start thinking about that.
There's yeah, we could go down that trail all night.
Oh, dude, me and you don't have the mental energy for it right now.
I don't. My mind is on fishing right now, man. The water's
dude,
up.
absolutely.
The fish are biting.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. And I think it's okay to have that, to turn that cryptid brain off for a little bit. You know, I think as content creators, we get, well, man, we got to have a video out every week. We got to do this. People will lose interest. Man,
Right.
sometimes that's okay. Like we can't just do that every week thing sometimes. And, you know, so if people lose interest, hey, you know,
Yes.
I'm just going to put things out the way I feel like it. And as you well know, YouTube does make a little bit of money. And when I say a little bit of money, yes, that's about it. People think it's a quit your job money. You got to be making you got to be cranking them out for quit your job money, and very few people can do that. And I'm not complaining about being a creator. I'm just saying the quit your job money to be a creator.
You got to live
very
it.
few people have it.
You got to live it, breathe it.
It's got to be your 40-hour a week job. We've got to work 40 to 50 hours at YouTube creation, just like you do anything else. So, you know, you've got to, like, you get up and you've got to be filming or editing or thinking about your next video and getting prepared for it. So,
absolutely.
And sometimes, you know, some people do it and they do great at it, and some people, like for me and you, it's a hobby we get to.
That's the way I do it. I just, you know, I enjoy it. You got to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it.
That's exactly right. If you don't enjoy it, not gonna do it at all. Well, dude, I appreciate you having me on. I know that I love the fact that, you know, we have a topic that we're going to talk about, and then we go off on rabbit trails, and you know, and I think that once you get right around to it, it's just a good old fashioned, you know, sit by the campfire and chill, you know, the virtual campfire, and just talk about whatever comes to place.
It's therapeutic.
It really is. It is, and you know, it's talking to a therapist, but you're actually someone who actually gives a rat's rear end about me, rather than that. I heard this about therapists is thinking a therapist cares about you. Is like thinking the stripper actually likes you.
Yeah, it's like, well, your hour's up. You got to go.
Your
dude.
hour's up. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid for this anymore.
No, that's the truth. That's the truth. But guys, again, I love you. I'm so grateful for every one of your subscribers. Your subscribers have supported me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the chance to be on your channel and friendship, my brother.
Hey, you're my brother too, and we'll have you back here, and we'll have you on the other channel too. And I'm going to keep sending people your way, man.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be good.
Yep. God bless, man.
God bless you, brother. All right. Bye.
Goodbye. There you go, guys. The one and only Travis Carpenter joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure to have him. Great man. Proud to call him brother. Just like family. This is what YouTube is supposed to be like. This is how the community should be. It should be a closeness. Like he said it the best. It's like sitting by the fire, just talking. It's therapeutic. Thank you, guys, for supporting Wide Open Adventures, guys. We're going to continue to grow this channel, make it a family channel to where we can do things outdoors with our families, enjoy one another, and be able to visit with one another. Until next time, guys, God bless, good night, and we'll see you on the next one.